Thank you, Madam Chair. To our committee chairman as well, thank you, and our chairman emeritus, to our ranking member, Mr. Swalwell. Thank you for holding this hearing. To our witnesses, thank you very much for coming to testify. To begin, Ms. Jacobson, I was hoping you could just build a little bit on, briefly, some of your comments about residential efficiency that we can build upon. I am from the Northeast. I lived in an apartment where in the winter I did not pay for heat. It was heated by the management company. It was so hot that I would often keep a window open throughout the entire course of the winter, and often had a fan in the window because it would be about 85 degrees in the apartment. Many apartment buildings in the Northeast, old buildings, they don't have insulation. Do you have any idea of how many, the figures about energy loss that we're losing, and how some strategies, either state or federal, that we can start to implement that would help?
Thank you very much for the question. Clearly, retrofitting buildings in the residential sector, as well as talking about apartments, are a significant challenge. In some ways, we're doing a little bit better with new construction because we can upgrade the codes and standards. But with majority of our buildings, living 30 to 50 years or more, we have significant challenges to face. I don't have specific statistics on residential inefficiency across the board in aggregate. Perhaps some of the other panelists were, but I can get it for you. I point you to one of our board members, the Alliance to Save Energy, but I will take it upon myself to get you whatever data is available, either from the Alliance to Save Energy or the American Council on Energy Efficiency. They're really the key resources on data for energy efficiency. But I think your experience is so telling, and I appreciate you mentioning it, because that's kind of the real world reality that we're in. But with more public awareness and by innovative actions by states, through revolving funds to help support residential energy efficiency, or the PACE program you might have heard of, which is facing some challenges. But those types of innovative models will get in front of more customers to help retrofit homes.
I appreciate that. Mr. McNally, I had a quick question for you as well, sir. I represent a city called Fall River in southeastern Massachusetts, and there's a company there called TPI Composites that manufactures wind turbines along with other military and transportation equipment in their product lines. I spoke just last week with the CEO of TPI Composites, and he expressed obviously the importance of the production tax credit for their business model, and for facilities that continue to invest in wind energy despite loaded upfront costs, that thus bring an additional element of diversification to our American energy portfolio. So if we know that clean energy technology manufacturing can create high-quality jobs in Fall River, and we know that minimizing uncertainty about our federal investment can create a dependable landscape that encourages further private sector investment in these technologies. But we also recognize that renewable energy alternatives like wind are not yet price competitive with other existing technologies in traditional fossil fuels. What then would your path forward be that you suggest? You testified a bit about the market-based incentives and the need to make energy security policy a priority. While fossil fuels are deeply entwined in our current way of life and our standard of living, federal investments like the production tax credit are industry-wide, that are not picking individual winners and losers. I think have a value for adding renewables and other clean energy sources to the mix. I'd appreciate your comments on this if you can, sir.
Thank you, Congressman Kennedy, for that question. As I said in my remarks, in my view, in general, and particularly during these times of stretched fiscal resources and difficult budget questions and constraints, the proper role for federal government is in the basic research area. I would rather shut down the production tax credit, which is really helping mature but uneconomic renewable energies, and take some of that money and maybe hire some more scientists to figure out how to produce batteries that can store and discharge electricity better than they can now. With the idea being, if they can figure that out, they may then, those findings can translate down into the commercial sector, where without a production tax credit or distorting mechanisms of any kind, industry can take and deploy that. So again, I guess I'd say in general, but certainly in stretched budget times, let's focus the government's role in basic research. What Ms. Jacobson said, I agree with very much. Stable, long-term investments in basic research would be my preference, sir.
Thank you. Yield back.